welcome back. Hello, everybody. I'm going to give it a second to boot up, catch my voice up with my movements, let you guys pop on as all of you start getting notifications. By the way, if you want to catch me live, there's a few things you've got to do. You have to subscribe, you have to hit that like button, and you have to go to your notification settings and set notifications to always ring the bell when I pop on. You guys already know the routine. Hit the like button, drop over in the chat box, tell me who you are, where you're watching from. So at this point, all of you right now are getting notifications. Oh my goodness, for the title of this video, Pennsylvania governor allegedly has been involved in the assassination attempt of our now president, but then Donald J. Trump in Pennsylvania. Okay. So welcome everybody. Oh, we got Louisiana. We've got Kent for audit. We've got a farmstead watching. Hi, everybody. Some people from Canada, Missouri, Idaho. Wow. Everybody's in the house for this one. So let me tell you what I found out. Hello, hello, hello. New Zealand, my home away from home. I've got a child in New Zealand. So I love it when you guys are representing. Let me hear you what I heard through the grapevine. Shapiro, Governor Shapiro, shame on you. So what am I talking about? There is allegedly, and I've seen the paperwork, so it was actually filed in Pennsylvania. There is a whistleblower that actually said, hey, Josh Shapiro is involved. And it goes deep, you guys. It goes deep. So many layers to this here onion. And it's going to get peeled. I guarantee it. Now it's out of the bag. Josh Shapiro cannot hide again. He is being called out. Okay? He is being called out. So I've got some videos on it for you guys because I think, we at least ought to help peel this onion back because who knows, maybe what we're hearing is actually true. I'm just saying. All right, so let me find what I'm looking for because it is pretty deep and it is pretty concerning. We're also going to discuss, so don't go anywhere. We're going to discuss this with the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump in 2024. Am I cutting out? Guys, just pray over it. It is raining here. This is Louisiana. I live in a rural area. Sometimes my broadband cuts out. So give it a second. It always corrects itself. So Josh Shapiro, we're going to discuss this nonsense about the LED lights. We're going to talk about how, Social Security numbers are being used over and over and over again for the defrauding and stealing of American tax dollars. So let's jump into this. We all know that they wanted to pin the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump on one 20-year-old in Pennsylvania. We all called BS a long time ago. We're like, you know what? You guys are lying. No one person did this. But I found some information. So let's start with some videos I found prior to Donald J. Trump going to Pennsylvania. So there were these crazy people like this on TikTok talking about how Josh Shapiro, the governor who wanted to be the first Jewish president, felt about Donald J. Trump coming to their state.
New one in a long statement ahead of Donald Trump's PR visit to the swing state of Pennsylvania. Let's pull it up and give it a read. Quote, "This weekend, Donald Trump is coming to our Commonwealth to continue pushing his extreme agenda to control women's bodies and take away Pennsylvanians' freedoms. From overturning Roe v. Wade and unleashing extreme abortion bans all across the country to trying to overturn the last election and destroy our democracy. hypocrisy to promising to kick 1.2 million Pennsylvanians off of their health care. Donald Trump's record and agenda are too dangerous and extreme for Pennsylvania. Pennsylvanians want a president who will fight for us and protect our freedom, not the chaos and extremism Donald Trump wants to bring to our communities. President Biden has had Pennsylvania's back, and we will work once again to reject Trump's extremism, defend real freedom, and send President Joe Biden back to the White House this November. Yeah! What a perfect thing for Pennsylvanians to read before Donald Trump.
Wow, yeah. That was a perfect thing to read for extremists. Yeah, sure was there, dude. That guy irritates me. It's one of those really weird mouths. And when I listen to him, I just kind of cringe. You know, I'm like, ugh. Ugh. But, you know, yeah, he is totally brainwashed. I totally agree. But you have to hear what your enemy is saying to understand what they're going to do next. Okay? Because if it's coming out of their mouth, it's already formulated a place in the brain. So it goes from the brain to the mouth. And once it leaves the mouth, you can go and expect. I take people at their value. If you tell me you're going to do it, I expect you to do it. If you tell me that you're not going to do it, I expect you not to do it. Maybe I'm just an oddity, but let's hear what is coming out about Josh Shapiro. Let me find it for you guys because it is in here. I have so much in here right now. It's kind of hard. Let me find it. Here it is. Here's one of them.
Shapiro. In this affidavit, a federal whistleblower named Hadassah Feinberg alleges that Josh Shapiro, in his personal, individual, and official capacity, facilitated, organized, and carried out his plan to assassinate President Trump. She alleges that Governor Shapiro conspired and colluded with Pennsylvania officials, namely State Police Commissioner Christopher Paris, and that he used Commissioner Paris to not only facilitate the attempted assassination, but also to conceal it. She alleges that Shapiro and Paris's actions were willful and were not a security failure. Obviously, this is an extremely serious accusation.
Okay.
Shapiro.
Now, if you remember when our beloved president's life was almost taken by some insane person, that there was a lot of talk about where were the Pennsylvania State Police. Like they gave up their positions. Like they just, disappeared. And then Trump was shot at. Now, we remember all this, right? Right. Did he really say Biden has people's back? Yeah, he really did say that. That's what the governor said. Yeah. Biden has Pennsylvania's back. Oh, yeah. From where? The drooling table with his bib on? Sniffing little girls' hair and eating ice cream? I mean, do I have to go there? Do I? So, Pennsylvania, you have a problem, a really big one that mainstream media is definitely trying to squish. I just saw on TikTok, it has to be a CIA PSYOP page because immediately all this information pops up and it says fact check, false, this never happened, because this is going to, I am feeling a little better, America first, a little bit. My energy levels are low, but I'm getting there. So this is going to follow Shapiro for the remainder of his adult life. Like if he ever attempts to run, because you guys remember, he was going to be Kamala Harris's pick for VP. And then she went with the school teaching Chomo, right? Like this was going to be her pick. And then she switched last minute. She was like, nah, maybe I won't go with him. And it makes you wonder, what did you know, oh, Kamali, that the rest of us didn't know? What did you know that the rest of us did not know? Let me find that other video. Here it is. Here it is. And I've got so much more for you guys. Do not go anywhere. After this topic, we have so much to talk about.
And the story we're covering is about these 6 deputies that abandon their post when Trump takes the stage. And we've always asked, who is the boss of these 6 guys that abandon their post? I'm in Idaho City, by the way. More gold comes out of here than in all of California. More gold comes out of here than all of Alaska. Little known story, 1,000 people in the cemetery, only 15 died of natural causes. So a little bit related to the assassination. But we've said, who are these Beaver County deputies, the 6 guys that abandoned their post? 3 of them leave at 4:26 or something like that, 4:23. And then the other 3 leave led by Greg Nickel, abandon their post. This is going to be the key, right, to the assassination. It's really basically the Lincoln assassination. This town's established about the same time Lincoln's taken the presidency. Lincoln assassination, we saw the one guy, John Parker, abandon his post. That allows Lincoln to be killed. This story is even more unbelievable because there's 6 people and they all abandoned Trump in order for him to be killed. And the key thing that was told to us by the sheriff, again, sheriff of this town was killed. The key thing we're showed by the sheriff, Tony Guy, is he's not responsible for the SWAT team that all abandoned their post. The people that was responsible for the DOJ. The DOJ. Well, isn't it interesting? Merrick Garland, sort of like putting a garland on somebody's casket. Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, is the head of the DOJ. Well, isn't it interesting that Merrick Garland dropped charges against Ruth, R-O-U-T-H? Isn't it interesting he drops charges against R-O-T-H Ruth today for the assassination? Well, why? Because he's a co-conspirator. Merrick Garland.
So much going on. And Kathy, I'm assuming you mean your son's still in the ICU. Praying for you, friend. Yeah, so a lot going on. Hey guys, a lot going on with the attempted assassination that happened in Pennsylvania. Welcome to Seed, Kim. Thank you for joining us on our channel. So let's keep going because it does get really deep. And we need to hear this.
Shit. Recent reports have surfaced alleging that Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro was involved in an assassination attempt against President Donald Trump. Now, these claims originate from a criminal complaint filed on February 7th of 2025 by Hadassah Feinberg, a former Pennsylvania State Police employee and federal whistleblower. Now, Feinberg alleges that Governor Shapiro conspired with other officials to orchestrate the attack on President Trump's life at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th of 2024. Now, the complaint also claims that Joe Biden made multiple visits to Shapiro leading up to the rally to discuss an obstacle faced by the Democratic Party, which Feinberg interprets as a reference to Trump. Now, the whistleblower Feinberg asserts that her attempts to report the plot were suppressed at various levels.
Really?
She alleges that former FBI Director Christopher Wray conspired with the Biden admin to conceal the reports hindering investigations by the Secret Service and the FBI. The complaints also accuse Shapiro of election interference in 2020, obstructing criminal investigations, and laundering money to Ukraine. Now, Feinberg suggests that Shapiro's connections to the Ukrainian President Zelensky are part of a broader pattern of corruption. Now, here's the current status. The Butler County District Attorney's Office has acknowledged receiving Feinberg's complaint, but has declined to pursue it, citing ongoing investigations by other government agencies. As of now, no official charges have been filed against Governor Shapiro. Some individuals are calling for thorough investigations. Let me know what you think.
Oh, so I just read in comments, Esther. Everybody remembers Esther from the Bible. It's a good one, Lisa. Thank you. Esther's Jewish name was Hadassah, or for such a time as this. Thank you, Leslie. Hey, my friend. Everybody hit that like button. We got to get this out there. This is not something we can allow them to squish, because as I dug into this, almost nothing. So I know there's a lot of nonsense that comes off TikTok, and I know how a lot of conservatives feel. Let it die. However, where do you think I found this? I didn't find it on YouTube. I didn't find it on Instagram, and I sure didn't find it on Facebook. So you got to be, that's exactly right, Miss Campbell. Shapiro is set to be next year's ticket for president. So I hope the Democrat Party does better, but as liberal and as insane as that hard left party actually is, they will probably award him a medal for this and put him on the ticket. Prove me wrong, right? All right, so let's keep it going. Let's keep going.
Reasoning or whatever.
Josh Shapiro. Do you guys remember him? He was going to be Harris's VP pick, and then she pivoted like last minute. There was all types of uproar. There was all types of chatter about him becoming her next VP pick, but she pivoted like the last minute and picked Tim Walz. And I thought it was because he had all of those SA harassment allegations against him, and his staffers were coming out like telling their side of like what happened, like how he should not be picked for VP. I thought that was just it, you know, as well as like the abuses that they suffered because he was a very like mean person to them on top of SAing them. No. Josh Shapiro allegedly, I have to say this allegedly, was the one allegedly to facilitate an assassination attempt on Trump. And the Pennsylvania government.
Yeah, they tried to cover it. They tried to cover it up. Yes, they did. They most certainly did, friends and family. Okay, so Paul, you said you found that, thank you, Shannon, that on local news stations were reporting it. Is that in Pennsylvania or what state is that? Because, amen, Leslie, their sins will find them out. Their sins will definitely find them out. All right, so in other news,
Social Security database is non-deduplicated, meaning you can have the same Social Security number many times over, enabling massive fraud, literally stealing our tax dollars. It's so sick. How the Democrats are against us finding out exactly where our money is being spent is beyond me. I mean, the American people voted for DOGE. We voted to find this out, but finding it out is so disheartening. It makes me literally physically ill. And we're like 1% in, not even. There is going to be so much further corruption to uncover. I mean, these government programs are just becoming far left, like woke activist groups at the disinterest of the American people, sending $59 million just last week to luxury hotels in New York to house illegals.
So did you guys hear about that? Welcome to the channel, Shwana. So did you guys hear about that? So doing me fine. I mean, I have all this for you guys. It's so hard to organize it, doing it all by myself at home, sick. You guys remember when FEMA, y'all remember this, right?
U.S. The fact is, no money is being diverted from response needs. That's the fact. So, disaster relief, this is a falsehood. Disaster relief funds used on immigrants illegally in the U.S. The fact is, no money is being diverted from response needs. That's the fact.
Y'all remember her, right? Everybody remembers her, right? She was so proud of herself. Getting up there, literally telling the American people, FEMA's not diverting money from disasters. Well, I would beg to differ. I would beg to differ because I know some people in North Carolina and West Virginia that are pretty pissed off.
I told you so, but I told you so. Y'all remember a few months ago when we were on this app and we were telling you that, in fact, FEMA was not giving any financial aid to the people in Western North Carolina and East Tennessee? But you guys kept saying we were spreading misinformation. That's how I got my account bananas the first time. And then a report comes out a couple of weeks ago that, in fact, the $100 million that they said that they supposedly gave them, nobody in East Tennessee or Western North Carolina saw any of that funding. You remember that? Remember that? And then DOGE dropped a report yesterday backing up what we've been saying yet again. That FEMA just sent a hotel in New York City $59 million for illegal migrants. And then it comes out that the people who own the hotel in New York City is Pakistan. And then it comes out even more that New York City has a contract with Pakistan for $200 million for these illegal migrants. And that $100 million has already been fulfilled. And now they're sending another $59 million. So yet again, FEMA, show me the proof
in
No.
your favor. It's kind of like it's saying that you're the ones that are spreading misinformation and you're the ones that are lying. Not say I told you so, but
Okay, guys, on the thing with the YouTube ads, not me. Okay, you can pay a monthly fee and never see an ad again. That's between you and YouTube, not on my end. All right, so let's keep going because you got it. You got to just
You mean the
bang it
DOGE
out.
thing, or the fact that Joe just called the Secretary of State corn pop again?
Corn Pop was a bad dude. Wait, what are we talking about again?
Joe, focus. Elon Musk's DOGE stunt is tanking our media buyouts. The public's eating it up, and it's making us look like amateurs.
Not to mention, if the Treasury goes blockchain, our creative accounting methods are toast.
Blockchain? Is that like Legos?
Oh, for the love of Joe, no, it's not Legos. It's the end of our ability to move money without questions.
Hillary's right. If spending becomes public, we can't hide, well, anything.
And USAID, forget it. The media companies will turn on us the second they realize the gravy train's over.
Gravy train? Now you're making me hungry.
Joe, for God's sake, this is serious.
We need a plan. Elon is outmaneuvering us, and the blockchain thing is gaining traction.
Agreed, but first we need to address the elephant in the room.
Elephant? I thought we were donkeys.
Joe, he's talking about you.
Joe, it's time. You need to step down. Kamala can take it from here.
Step down, but I just got comfortable in this chair.
This isn't a joke, Joe. The party's at risk. You're a liability.
We can't afford another gaffe. The media is already questioning our integrity, and Elon is exploiting every crack.
All right. But can I at least keep the chair?
Sure, Joe. Keep the...
Now, speaking of nasty, crusty Hillary Clinton and her mafia people killing family,
$4,489 was found. Hillary Clinton posted on X that there are some false claims going around about her family and about the Clinton Foundation, saying it's very important to correct the record, saying that they have helped millions and millions of people across America and across the world. And it is very important to know that their family doesn't earn anything from this work and that Chelsea Clinton did not receive any of this money. However, we learned from DOGE that the U.S. aid did give the Clinton Foundation $84 million. And from that relief effort, there are line items showing that Chelsea Clinton received $10 million for a beautiful mansion to live in and $3 million for a beautiful wedding. So us taxpayers, we paid for Chelsea Clinton's beautiful wedding, for her $10 million mansion. The Clintons, they need to live a luxury life in America.
right? Shut up, useless eaters. Shut up. That is what Hillary Clinton, she is losing her mind on Twitter. It's misinformation. Oh God, they're going to know we paid $3 million. I'm sorry, Hammer, come. My German Shepherd saw me get upset. Come here, come. He just jumped off the couch, ears up. Come on, come say hi to everybody. Come here, come say hi to everybody. Everybody say hi to Hammy. It's all right. Come here, come. Sit. Tell everybody hello. Nobody's here. That was mommy banging on the table. I apologize. You got to be careful when you have a canine trained dog to bite, because you bang on something and they come up, you know what I'm saying? Like ready to bite. He's ready to work. He's like, hey, Ma. Thanks, guys. He was like, hey, Ma, who am I supposed to bite? Just point, Mom, just point. So let's keep going, because this is what Democrats currently look like. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I find stuff like that hilarious. So let's keep going, because it's time for the truth to come out, America.
This is a dictatorship in the making. We're not going to have apartheid in America anymore.
Apartheid, like he knows what that is.
Reuters Ipsos poll that was done right after the USAID news broke found that 56% of people would like to see all foreign assistance programs suspended. which is leading a lot of people to say that the Democrats have picked a very weird hill to die on.
That's because there's no other hill to die on, because President Trump continues to deliver on the promises that he
I love
made to
her
the American
because there is no other hill to die on.
Update. According to a recent report from the Congressional Budget Office, Congress spent over $500 billion last year on programs with expired authorizations. Now, to put that into perspective, the estimated property damage totals from the 2024 hurricane season and the California wildfires is about $507 billion. Now, we could have used that money to ease the suffering of our taxpaying citizens and help rebuild what was lost, but instead it sounds like it just got wasted. Now, the CBO identified 1,264 authorizations that expired before fiscal year 2024, and approximately $516 billion was appropriated in 2024 for activities with expired authorizations. And most notably, 24 laws were responsible for $470 billion of this spending, and some of them have been on the books for over 40 years. Now, what do you think DOGE is going to find when they audit the Department of Defense? This revelation underscores the urgent need for transparency and accountability in government spending. You can read the full report. It is linked in my bio.
Somebody just said, is this what
according to a
Trump meant when he said the Great Reset? Trump never said Great Reset. That's Carl Schwab. Hey, Edeby. That was Carl Schwab. All righty. So let's talk about an executive order that Trump just signed. Okay. Trump recently signed an executive order. I say recently. I mean, he's only been in office 2.5 weeks, and the man is like, he's like Donkey Kong right now. He is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. But in January, Trump signed an executive order. Basically, the freedom to choose your light bulbs. Why does this matter? And how is this going to affect you? So Joe Biden and his infinite ignorance, and I don't care who that upsets, that is just the truth. He put a nail in the coffin for incandescent light bulbs. And now hear me out. Hammer, come here. Stay out of the garbage. I saw you. Sorry, guys. I saw him in the garbage. On Tuesday, now this is back in 2023. On Tuesday, the Biden administration put the final nail in the coffin for incandescent light bulbs, the result of decade-plus long legislative path. The first step in a journey began in 2007 when the Energy Independence and Security Act passed. The Security Act. Why in the world would a Security Act supposedly for the safety of American people have anything to do with light bulbs? Well, because let me explain it to you. LED lights have microchips. Did you hear me? They have microchips. Why does that matter, Sam? Oh, but my friends, because it's got to do with your health. Okay? Because frequencies can come across light bulbs.
Your home. It's a light emitting diode. It's a microchip, and it was actually funded by IBM and Monsanto.
Who?
So the whole LEDs, you're bringing in a street light into your house, it messes with your mind, gives you memory loss, all kinds of things. The incandescents, these basically just get really warm, and they start to heat up, and this little inside right here just gets a little hot, and then you have light. And what's cool about incandescence is you don't have to buy red light therapy, and you don't have to buy, all these masks and all this nonsense that they keep selling people. You just can get incandescent bulbs. And you can look at even red light therapy, incandescent bulbs, but all the whole LED masks and LED panels and all of that, there's no color red that comes off the LED. So that's just a big push. And they've done a bunch of studies, which have been funded, to get people to buy LED light bulbs. But incandescents are now back in America, and you can buy them. If you're in a different country, just order and just get them shipped to your place and get them shipped in. But the incandescent bulbs are the original old school bulbs. And I've talked a lot about light, which that's what we're going to talk about today, because light is a crucial thing. You know, the light that comes into our eyes, the light that turns on our brain, the light that invigorates our body, sunlight, you know, all this beautiful light that comes out is very beneficial. And what happens is when we have these toxic lights, such as LEDs in our home, we start having all kinds of health issues. So somebody said, is red light therapy good or bad? Well, red light therapy should be with an incandescent or a halogen bulb. That would be the best way if you want red light therapy, incandescent or halogen. No LEDs, no LED street lights that are pinging frequencies and radios through your home and anything like that. Incandescents and halogens. It'll be nice and toasty. It'll be nice and warm. And it's very cool.
So Joe Biden and his infinite ignorance and control of the human population, and to rid the world of useless eaters, in 2023, put a final nail in the coffin for incandescent light bulbs. Why? Why, Sam? Thank you, Miss Kathy, for the super chat. We appreciate you, friend. Why would they do this? Well, for energy, to save energy, right? 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 Or maybe it was to be a super state, to be a spy state, to ping GPS locations from your phone to the light, to the people, to Big Brother. Now you're starting to see. And then you add in 5G with these LEDs in everybody's homes. And now you've got haywire frequencies all over the place. People are getting sick. And, you know, I hate to just say things because I do understand that in this world we live in, there's so much false information that it's hard to know what's true. So Sam likes to bring receipts. So bam.
There you go. A bedroom I had to turn into a tomb.
Manal, who lives in Windsor Terrace, says the glare from new LED street lamps on our block is so intense, she hung blackout curtains.
So that we could sleep at night.
It's an annoyance many people around the tri-state area have expressed as more and more towns and municipalities switch from orange sodium lights to longer-lasting blue LEDs. But this glare may actually be the least of our concerns.
There has not been consideration of the human health impacts, and that's what I very strongly object to.
Professor Richard Stevens with the University of Connecticut has spent more than 30 years studying the health effects of artificial lights, including LEDs.
There is no question, too bright light, particularly blue, high short wavelength light in the evening, it has potent effects on our physiology.
In particular, he says, study after study shows it severely suppresses the production of melatonin, a much-needed hormone.
Increasing the risk of diabetes, obesity, depression.
And potentially certain cancers. A study from Harvard found a greater risk of breast cancer in women who live in neighborhoods that have higher level of outdoor lighting during the night.
I think we don't know the individual environment.
So, just to let you guys know that Biden's Department of Energy passed a rule that bans the sale of incandescent light bulbs that are inefficient by their standards. The ban went into effect August 1st of 2023. The rule required that light bulbs emit a minimum of 45 lumens per watt. Lumen is a measure of brightness, like an inch is a measure of length. This effectively bans the sale of common incandescent bulbs, which only emit 15 lumens per watt. The ban aims to reduce energy consumption in the United States. And let's say what they love to leave out and to basically spy on the American people, to control the American people. When I was working on my special ed degree, my master's is a dual master's. It's a master's of arts and teaching. To get my SPED and regular ed addition to that master's, I had to learn behavior modification in children who had ADHD and ADD and behavior issues and emotional disorders and all this stuff. And one of the things that we really did study quite a bit was the effect of colored lights on students. And now I want you guys to remember, I graduated in 2000 and 2005 with my 2 degrees. Okay. So we're talking 20 years ago when science was still pretty solid coming out of universities. And it was a well-known fact then, the push to get LED lights out, especially out of special education classrooms and communal areas where you will have regular and special education children together in a least restrictive environment, an LRE. We pushed to remove these LED lights and go back to incandescent lighting. Thank you, Bobby. Bobber Light. God bless you too. So if we knew this 20 years ago, it just goes to show you that Biden's and him and Kamala Harris, their entire administration, the point of it was to take all your rights away. So yes, living underneath Trump right now for a lot of people is a shock because you see a president working on the behalf of the American people. It is not something that you have seen in 20 years. It's just not something you've seen. So let me tell you what Trump did. Trump signed an executive order to protect your right to choose which light bulbs, regardless of what side of the aisle you fall on. LED, incandescent is beside the point. I personally don't care. Let me tell you the beauty in what Trump did. He gave you choice. That's what freedom is. Freedom is the choice to LED or incandescent. I don't believe in abortion. However, I do not believe the federal government has the right to remove the choice from adults. Is it right? No. But you have to have a choice. That's what freedom is. When Jesus hung on the cross, he gave you choice. You either believe in me and repent of your sins or you don't. Choice. Freedom. That's what true freedom is. It's not you telling me what I have to do. Just like you don't want conservatives to tell you you can't abort that baby, conservatives don't want to be told they have to have a vaccine. What is freedom? Freedom is choice. Everybody, educate yourself, make the best choice for you and your family. Now, Trump has signed an executive order which safeguards the American people's freedom to choose light bulbs. Rather than applaud him for this, this news article tried to make fun of him for this. Because that's how liberals are. That's how mainstream media is. They've got people so brainwashed, people don't understand it's about the choice. It's not about the stinking light bulb. The order, dubbed Unleashing American Energy, is designed to remove burdensome and ideologically motivated regulations, which they are, that have impeded the development of natural resources. Its headline-grabbing action is the removal of state mandates promoting electric vehicles, but also included is a section promoting market competition for innovation for energy-consuming products such as light sources, and also including dishwashers, electric heaters, and washing machines. The inclusion of light bulbs has been taken by some lighting industry executives as hinting at a possible reprieve for incandescent lamps. But legal experts say that it would take an act of Congress to overturn federal efficiency standards mandating a minimum efficacy of 45 lumens per watt, which incandescent sources fail to meet. In his last term of office, Trump frequently railed against LED technology and vowed to bring back the traditional light bulb. At a rally in Fayetteville, North Carolina in 2019, he said he looked better under incandescent lights than these crazy lights that are beaming down. He further claimed that if LEDs break, they become a hazardous waste site and are very dangerous with all of the gases. And you want to know the truth? It's true. What Trump said is true. Funny how a lot of stuff Trump says comes out being true. That's how it is when you have all the information. Yeah. Imagine if every American walked around fully aware of all the information. Imagine how much better we as a country and as a society would be if everybody was informed of the truth instead of the narrative or the hidden narrative. What if they just got on TV and instead of doing a meteorological weather, the guy got on there and said, okay, today we've got the state of Louisiana University spraying 55,000 tons of aerosols to reflect the sun in their crazy attempt to stop climate warming. Also, expect torrential downpour in the lower parts of Louisiana with flooding due to the fact that, well, we over cloud seeded last month in Arkansas, and now lower Louisiana off the Gulf of America and the Mississippi River is going to flood 1 million people. Wouldn't life be a lot better if we were all truly informed of what the heck they were actually doing? In the United States, energy efficiency regulations for light bulbs are primarily governed by the Energy Policy and Conservation Act. Why? Why another alphabet agency? Why? Who the hell are these people? Where do they come from? I have said on this channel a dozen times, if I have said it once, the fastest growing industry in America for jobs is the government. You can't find a job? Go apply at the government. They hiring everybody. I have said it and said it and said it. You've got a real problem when the fastest growing industry in your country is the flipping government. Not teachers, not iron workers, not carpenters, not nurses, not doctors. No, government. It's ridiculous. Absolutely insane. Oh, here it goes. Let me finish. This is great. So your light bulbs, somebody's getting paid a tremendous amount of money in the federal government that sits on the Energy Policy and Conservation Act, EPCA, and its subsequent amendments, particularly the Energy Independence and Security Act, EISA, of 2007. These laws set standards for the energy performance of lighting products, including light bulbs, to reduce energy consumption and greenhouse gas emission. We're going to save the world by spending millions of your dollars figuring out which light bulb produces the least amount of greenhouse gases. Folks, you cannot make up how ignorant this is. And if you have a problem with Trump actually trying to reduce the long arm of the law, you are not a revolutionary. You are a coward. It means that you are so comfortable paying these taxes and these prices that you've given up all hope that it could ever be an actual American dream back in this country. You guys know I'm going to tell it. Y'all know I am. I don't do this for the money, and I don't do it for popularity. Unlike 90% of people you watch on social media, I really don't care. I'm going to bring the receipts. I'm going to show you the proof. I'm going to tell you that I love you. I'm going to come from a place of education and not emotion. And then I'm going to go live the rest of my life because really, I don't care. Sam's still going to do what Sam's going to do. Y'all know it.
I'm coming against that spirit. You're talking about the Democrats gave us a president who was born in Kenya. Grew up in Indonesia. And who never had a black experience. See, but you don't do your homework. A quality leader researches. A quality leader studies. A quality leader proves they don't just run on emotion. They run on intelligence. And we search out the intelligent. God said the wise will search out a matter. Black folk don't search. The majority of them, they too busy crying about something that they're not even living. You're crying about what your mama suffered. What your dad went through. They gave us literally a witch in government with Hillary Clinton. I got the hat when she got hacked. That's the Democrats. And then they gave us a demented president.
It's real.
Did anybody read the article that said that they knew he was demented day one? I want you all to collect all those articles because I want to keep them in my own personal file. They have been covering for him from day one. And you know what? Black folk didn't care because he claimed to help blacks. It is a record that Republicans have done more for minorities than blacks every day. Do your homework, people, before you go do stupid.
Well,
do your homework before you do stupid. They gave us a party, a woman who has been documented as a boozer and a sleeper around.
Yes, that's right.
And told us she should be our president.
Right.
This is the Democratic model. Now, I know it's not the democracy they started all those years ago, but this is what happens when you give the devil a seat at the table. He brings his friends. Jesus said that he brings 7 more worse than himself. So we got a long way to go. A long way to go.
And a short time to get there. Do. Wise people search a matter out. The day that your emotions cloud your ability to research and find facts and prove what you're trying to say is a day that you just need to sit down and go be quiet. When I see people in their 70s and 80s screaming in a microphone about how an unelected Elon Musk is digging around, he's going to steal your Social Security check. If you fall for that, you deserve to have your Social Security check stolen. He has something called look-only access. Now, for people who don't deal a lot with computers, I understand how that can be confusing. But if you're working on a paper and you're working on a paper with somebody that is where you are, I'm here, you are there, right? You and I are going to co-author a paper together. We can get on and share that paper on a computer, you at your house, me at mine. If one of us has executive power, we can change things on that paper, while the other one, say you, can only read. You can't change anything. You can't delete. You can't add. You can't highlight. You can't change my punctuation. And God knows Leslie can contest. My punctuation sucks. You can read it, but you can't change it. That's called read only, which is what Elon Musk has. He doesn't have executive power. He doesn't have the ability to take or to give. He simply has eyes on the matter. And if you fall for some lady who has done nothing with her life but encourage people to riot in the streets because she didn't get her way, if you fall for that, well, friend, you deserve to have your Social Security check stolen, which it won't be. You'll probably get a raise on Social Security next year when there's a little more money in the pot for Americans. And you can come back and watch this video and you can thank me then. Hey, Cindy Cat, thank you so much for joining us as a member. We love that. So, all you titty babies crying about, I'm losing my welfare, my food stamps, and you're on TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook, Instagram complaining, well, you're getting monetized, or you're getting paid for your whining. That's an income. So, yes, that's got nothing to do with Trump. That's got to do with law and the way the system is set up. So I just wanted to show you guys that all the things going on. Just remember that Trump has now given you back the choice, and he will continue to do so. It is your job, friends and family, to keep your heads up. It's for you to not fall for every cadoodle that you see on social media, chatting away with charts and smart looking glasses with a microphone. That does not mean they are educated. It does not mean they are correct. Have you not seen mainstream media and the idiots we've had to listen to for the past 4 years? And ain't none of them been right. I'm just saying. When you start doubting, or you start letting the devil whisper in your ear, because let me tell you this. I've said this quite a bit too on my channel. Whatever you're looking at, that's where you're going. Okay? You're driving your car, you're facing forward. Which direction are you going? Forward. If you look to the left and you're driving the car, where does the car go? It drifts left, right? That's provable. I can prove that to you. Whatever you're listening to is what you are becoming. So when you're listening to fear and ignorance and hate, well, that's what you're becoming. When men sit there and watch pornography over and over, they become a sex addict because that's what they're looking at. That's where they're going. Okay? Be careful where you put your eyes, and be careful who you let speak into your ear gates. All you guys are always sending me videos of prophets and this person, this, and I don't watch any of it. I've told you that 100 times. I am so selective in who I listen to. Believe it or not, because I have to dig up quite a bit for you guys. I ask the Holy Spirit to show me what I need to see. I videotape it, and then I push that person. Why half the time I can't tell you who you're listening to. I'm like, I don't know. I got it off TikTok because I'm not giving them a space inside of my brain. Whether they're good or bad, I don't know that person. Be careful, America. Be careful, Europe. Be careful, anybody, New Zealand, Australia, wherever you're listening, Canada. Stop letting these people take up space inside of your brain. Because I'm going to show you who you're arguing with when you start up an argument with a liberal. One more video, and I got to go. I got to go, friends.
Arguing with someone on the left, I need you to remember that you are talking about somebody who wore a mask in a car by themselves as to not give themselves a virus with a 99% survival rate. You are talking about somebody who watches The View. You are talking about somebody who didn't want to arm themselves to protect children in schools, but claimed that they would become a felon by fighting off ICE with their bare hands. You are talking about somebody who shaved their head for a right that they never lost. You are talking about somebody who labeled themselves as oppressed when you wouldn't call a man a she and a woman a he. You are talking about somebody who screams "my body, my choice" when they want to unalive their unborn baby, but also wanted you to lose your job if you didn't get an experimental vaccine. You are talking about people who think that burning an American flag in America is a way to convince the American government to let you stay in America when you're already there illegally. You are talking about people who label themselves as loving and inclusive, but call you a homophobe, a bigot, a racist, and a horrible person when you disagree with them. You're talking about someone who thinks it's misogynistic to not want men and women's sports as to protect women's rights, but can't tell you what a woman is. Facts, logic, and reasoning left those noggins a long time ago, and you do not need to be arguing, you need to be giving grace. Next time you find yourself arguing.
That's called a mic drop. That's called a mic drop. I can post anything that I got off YouTube or article-wise. I'll put it in the description as soon as we end this live. Folks, do not argue with the left. Let them scream as loud as they want. It does not matter. I will tell you this. Wait, I said that was going to be the last one, but it's not. I got one more for y'all. Give me a second, because you need to understand this about how your government runs.
Campaign promise of widespread student loan forgiveness. So what's unusual now is the Vice President of the United States is suggesting in writing that the judicial branch cannot control the executive's legitimate power. In essence, J.D. Vance is saying the executive branch is more powerful than the judicial branch, and perhaps the executive branch may not comply with the orders from the judicial branch. Now, I want to be very clear here. President Trump himself has not said this. Vice President Vance did. But today, Trump did suggest that no judge should be able to rule like McConnell did. Look, we're going to have to wait and see if the Trump administration is ultimately going to comply with Judge McConnell's order on this funding freeze issue. But we're seeing this kind of thing play out over and over. Not just in Judge McConnell's court, but in multiple courts across the country. These judges are blocking the Trump administration at almost every turn. This is a fight, no doubt, that the Trump administration is absolutely going to take straight to the United States Supreme Court to determine how far the powers of the executive go. Quickly, as you know, the Constitution set our government up with three co-equal branches of government: the legislative branch, which is Congress, the judicial branch, which are the courts, and the executive branch, which is the president and his administration. The Constitution gives each of those branches certain powers that it does not give the other branches. For example, the Constitution specifically says Congress has the power of the purse, and it gives Congress the power to make laws. It gives the executive branch the power to enforce laws, and it gives the judicial branch the power to interpret the laws. It also sets up a mechanism for each of those branches to check the other's power. A president can veto a law passed by the entire Congress, but the Congress can override that presidential veto, and the courts can declare a law passed by Congress or an executive order written by the president unconstitutional. The whole point of having these co-equal branches is so that one branch does not become more powerful than the others. So it's that last statement from Vice President Vance's tweet that says judges aren't allowed to control the executive's legitimate power that has a lot of people concerned. How is the vice president defining legitimate? Of course the president has legitimate power. The Constitution says so. But the president is not a king. That was pretty clear in the Constitution, too. And to ensure that, the Constitution absolutely says the judicial system is the sole branch that has the power to interpret the laws, to decide whether something is legal or not. There's also a lot of questions about so-called activist federal judges, both liberal and conservative, and the very common practice by both red and blue states to basically judge shop to get the type of ruling they want in the end. The bottom line here is this: most legal scholars agree that the only way this fragile republic of ours is going to hold up is if all three branches of government respect the power and legitimacy of the other.
So,
Campaign promise of widespread.
When you hear people on the left applauding that these liberal federal judges are blocking Trump, that is actually their job. And to have a healthy country, we need all three branches doing what they're supposed to be doing. Do I mind that judges are questioning what Trump's doing? No. For the love of God, he would be a tyrant without checks and balances. Even if you love him, and I do, be wise enough to know that no one man needs unchecked balance. Our country is amazing. Our Constitution is beautiful. Read it, love it, get inside of the Constitution and understand what the founders of this country were trying to give you. Don't allow other people who have large words and multiple little initial groups behind their name tell you what to think. Dig into the 14th Amendment. Understand it was never meant for illegal aliens. Understand that every president pushes to see how much power and how much they actually can get away with. It's what they run on. Biden said, I'm going to forgive you your student loans. Eventually, it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they said, and Biden couldn't do it. He still tried. Nobody had a problem when he tried that. Every president pushes, and every judge tries to get their name in the books and put some boundaries. This is healthy. This is how your government is supposed to work. Checks and balances. That's how it's supposed to work, baby. Love it. Don't like it? Get the heck out of my country. Just like every illegal alien needs to do. Get out my country. Get out my country. Get out my country. Bum, 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 bum. Come the correct way or don't come at all. I actually follow a site showing people who just got their American citizenship, and I cry like a baby. I cry like a baby. These people sometimes have waited 20 and 30 years to become a citizen. And they go take their test. They come out flying their flags, their families crying with them. And I'm crying because I'm like, God bless you. You know, I'm so happy for you to get your American dream. And then I see video of what California looks like right now, them burning the American flag, running around with their Mexican flags, blocking freeways, speaking in the ugliest language ever known to man. And I'm like, I don't even understand. Y'all have no right to be here. There are good people that have waited a long time to be a citizen of this country. Don't demoralize and diminish what they've gone through to get here because you feel sorry for someone too lazy to make it happen in their country. And I mean that. These are young people. Go back to your country and fix your country because this is not yours. It's ours. Correct, Leslie. The Constitution prevents mob rule. The main difference between a democracy and a republic is this. A democracy is mob rule. It's majority rule on everything. And minorities are pushed to the back corner with no protections, with no voice. A constitutional republic protects every minority's voice with a constitution that says these things belong to you, whether you are in the majority or the minority. You have these rights. These are yours. It also slows down the swinging and changing of the country so that everybody's voice eventually has some weight to it. It's what I hate when people call us a democracy. This country is not, nor will it ever be a democracy. God bless the United States. God bless Trump. God bless you. Keep your head on a swivel. Like, comment, subscribe. We love you guys. Be blessed. I got to get some rest. My husband will be home from work in an hour, and I just sucked up all my energy. Love you guys.